This video contains spoilers from the world and story of Subnautica Below Zero. Please beware. Now, if you guys follow this channel to any real extent, you might have noticed that it's been about 2 weeks since we last covered Subnautica Below Zero. And there is quite a simple reason for that, mostly because not much is really happening with the game. I don't want to hop into the lore too early before the game is done, and for that to happen we just have to wait for the big story rework and the rest of development to wrap up. But here I am today because Subnautica has only 2 days ago released an update on where the game stands right now, and I'm here to walk you all through it. So by the end of this video you hopefully have a better idea of where the game stands right now. So without any further ado, say bye to your pet Cryptosuchus, jump into your sea truck, and let's go. Now obviously it is impossible to talk about anything related to updates on Subnautica Below Zero without first mentioning that of course everything is being delayed by the current situation in the world with the pandemic and everything. Now in this update they do mention that the majority of their team already works from home, so on a large base they're not being affected that much. However, because they're an international studio with people all around the place, some aspects and specific things are affected more than others. In this particular update, they for example mentioned that their UK-based voice recording studio is closed due to lockdown rules, meaning that that part of the game is being delayed more than some of the others. But back on topic, where's the game now and where is it headed next? If you've been playing it for any amount of time recently, you will know that the new story has been trickling in. The new intro is in, you can listen to new voice lines, and you can get a solid grasp of where they're trying to take the story, well, at least the beginning of it. According to them, in the few coming months, a lot more of this should be coming our way. In my eyes, that simply means we're going to be getting more interactions, more stuff along the game will be polished, and we will be getting more of an actual storyline rather than just a series of disconnected story beats that we have right now. Now unfortunately, on another point, voice acting will be delayed more, and this is obviously due to what I already mentioned at the start, a lot of studios being closed, so due to what's happening right now, they weren't able to record Alan and Marguerite as planned for the recent release. But presumably, as soon as they're able to, given the situation out there, they will come back to this and we will be receiving this update. There is however another alternative here that I'm not sure how people will react to, because they do mention that it is possible that they will do the voice acting much more akin to a traditional game development project, where you often do the voice acting all in one batch when the story is complete. Now from a developer standpoint, this makes perfect sense, because at any point stuff can change, and if you work with the iterative process, the story can be rewritten dozens of times at any point, especially when it comes to individual voice acting lines. But for us, that might mean that we will not get proper voice acting for quite a few more months to come, which could definitely be disappointing to some. Now the next point is something that we've been hearing a lot about as well, and that is that they're trying to work more on getting the surface gameplay to work well with the underwater gameplay. Of course, this has led to them rebuilding the glacial basin and adding more survival mechanics to the game, but I still think this will need a bit more work, because in my opinion, and I might be alone on this completely, the surface gameplay still has a bit of a clumsy and floaty feel to it, so it might perhaps need a bit more iteration and integration with the game before it actually feels useful. And also a bit of a weird thing, which I'm not exactly sure why that is, it actually feels harder to survive on the surface than it does underwater, and maybe that's their intended idea, but it certainly also works against making the surface feel integrated to the game. Now of course, finally, they mentioned that they will continue polishing the world in more ways than one, improving areas that already exist, improving creatures that already exist, specifically they mentioned the sea monkey and the snowstalker, and just giving everything that bit of extra flair to make the world feel alive. So overall what you can expect is simply more polish, more player progression, more detail in the world, and overall just more content for the game. But as a final beat, they do also mention that save files will probably continue to get corrupt and destroyed up until they hit version 1.0, so be ready for this one guys. If you are playing and you have a save file that you've spent a lot of time on, unfortunately you might be losing it in the coming weeks, simply due to the amount of stuff that will be getting added. But that is effectively everything we have for the current status of Subnautica Below Zero. Now this is a lot of exciting stuff, and I think we can all agree on the fact that hopefully great things are coming to Subnautica Below Zero that will make it a really good game as a result. However, one thing I want to address here before we finish this video off is a slightly more concerning trend that I've even brought up before in regards to the original Subnautica game, which is, at least as far as I know, still in a pretty dire state, especially on console when it comes to bugs. I mean, scrolling through the forums on the Subnautica website, there's so many people who are encountering game-breaking problems which are literally ruining their save files and they're just unable to continue the game. So I'm also hoping that in the midst of all this, which is admittedly a lot already, they will have at least a bit of time to go back and keep polishing the base game, because we all know it really needs it, especially on the consoles. To their credit, the Xbox One version did receive another update on May 8th, but as far as I know, it still leaves a lot to be desired, so I just hope that they continue moving in this direction so that everyone can keep playing the base game before Below Zero fully releases. But that brings us to the end of the video, so I hope you guys enjoyed and are at least a little bit more caught up on the progress of Subnautica Below Zero. If you guys enjoyed this video, maybe consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. All of those would be very much appreciated, and we'll keep you updated on what's new with Below Zero. And if there's anything that I miss or other things that you would like to see added to the game, please leave that down in the comments as well. I would very much like to read it. Now with that, I'm gonna wish you all a beautiful rest of the day, and I'll see you all in whatever next video I make. Bye bye.